well aware that Britain postponed even experimenting with electronic voting to 2010 elections, just by experimenting in few constituencies. But in Bahrain, these people, they went outside the structure of the government to go to America and buy equipments and play with the software, because they cannot really have enough people to move around and play with the constituencies election. They decided to go through technology, smart technology, so they can play with the game. And I think we were very successful. I was personally felt that the pressure to scrap the e-voting in this election is one product of publishing this report. It put a huge, it spoiled the whole, I'm sorry to say, conspiracy to violate the basic rights of Bahraini citizens to elect their own representatives. And that could be the most serious contempt to deny average Bahraini person to exercise his right and vote for whatever he wants. So that election e-voting system group, I'm glad now it's scrapped, but it shows to what extent these people were trying to reshape the life of Bahrain society through electronics devices and IT systems. Again, this is the same group who were responsible, and I hope they were responsible, not they are responsible now, because I would hope by now this is stopped. There is a very serious website set up in Bahrain to ferment sectarian hatred and to incite sectarian confrontation and to abuse individuals and very significant personalities in the Shia community and soil their reputation. And it happens with great regret to know this is the same group now, well known, they were doing that. The Bahraini people were very sad to see the way these websites is, you know, intervening even in their own lives and trying really even to break families and propagate negative campaigns against very senior scholars, religious scholars, or political activists or community activists. Sadly, there is again an SMS messaging using technology again, and this SMS messaging is based in South Africa. And we are actively now engaged in trying to get to the roots of this. There's an SMS company in South Africa who's hired and paid to send back very, very inflammatory SMS messaging which is intended to hype confrontation and to defamate personalities and we managed to record around 400 different SMS messaging and to identify the company in South Africa and to trace the Visa cards which these people paid for this back to the same network. Again, there was a public opinion center, and that public opinion center, I was personally consulted about it as a public opinion, because one of our programs here is public opinion in the Gulf, because our center is a regional center, it is not only concerned about Bahrain. And one of our programs, which we are working with, is to set electronic polling system and trying really to get views of different sections of the society. Interestingly, I was consulted about this almost a year and a half ago, and they asked me about their experience in dealing with that. And I was very disappointed to know that the person who came and talked to me about this and even encouraged me to give him a professional advice is related to this bogus polling center in Bahrain. Sadly, this center played a very negative role because it publishes in newspapers and in the media false results about very significant issues of immediate concerns to people in Bahrain. They imported Jordanian intelligence, but interestingly they imported Egyptian journalists from Egypt to come and write and produce a set of material to be distributed to few column writers and journalists in Bahrain to inquire these kind of stories on behalf of them. And they have a dedicated 7 journalists, very professional, some of them worked for maybe 20, 25 years in journalism in Egypt. And they paid them and gave them the resources to write particular feature articles or whatever, interviews and plugged in the daily newspapers. And the 5th operative was responsible for establishing a daily newspaper in Arabic. It was called Al Watan. Interestingly, I was personally, again, almost more than 18 months ago, I was consulted about Al Watan newspaper personally because I work in media as well. And I was very sad to discover again this is a front daily newspaper which is connected to this secret organization again and working. And there is a portfolio to fund candidates for the 2006 election. And through this very elaborate network of field workers, they sponsored 2 groups of candidates. Interestingly, most of the people, the Sunni candidates they sponsored, they were well known for the last 4 years of their very offending and offensive and confrontational policies and comments and stance on a lot of issues. Some of them they are outright racist and sectarian in their approaches to the way of life in that small country. At the same time, they devised a funding strategy to every single Shia candidate who stand up against the current 3 or 4 predominantly Shia political societies who's going to stand on elections. So there is a counter funding for people who stand against Al-Wifaq, Al-Amal al-Islami and the rest of it, against Shia candidates who would not really want them to come to the parliament because they think they are powerful, they are committed, they have a track record, and they will give them a very serious headache. Now, I know I can go on and talk about this, but I would really say this report is combined into 3 parts. The first part is a review of the current situation in Bahrain, and to what extent this secret organization is we regard it as a very serious threat to the stability, not only of Bahrain, but the whole region. The second part, we put with a very serious sense of responsibility the names, the photographs, the connections of every single person, starting from the first major field operatives of this secret organization to the detailed names of the other 97 individuals and who is who, connections. Because we felt we don't want to accuse people, we want to put whatever we've managed to get here and ask people to verify. The third part, we put the evidence, and in that evidence we put a selective evidence in the sense that we just put